just a relaxed dinner for two, you can count on Mandela Court for that luxurious experience. Call today to book your viewing or reservation. We look forward to welcoming you.
The Nawasa app brings the power of Nawasa's customer service experience to you. Instant, conversational, and smart. Easy access anywhere. Get bill balance, transaction history for up to 6 months, report a fault, link to websites, view payment centers, contact information, push notifications, and multi-tenant accounts, all in a secure login platform. Like a self-service concierge app, mobile.nawasa.gd gets you the support you need much faster. Available on both Android and iOS platforms. mobile.nawasa.gd, your customer support companion. Nawasa, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Quartz Black Friday Reloaded this week only. Shop from Thursday the 24th of March for up to 60% off selected items. Save $900 off the Land Ranger treadmill, only $1,999. HP ProDesk PC, now just $2,299. Save $400 and get the LG 43-inch UHD 4K smart television for only $1,999. Save $1,000. Plus, with Quartz Ready Finance, get 2 months free. Get all the best deals. Black Friday Reloaded only at Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home. Stores open from 8 a.m. See in-store or online for details.
Good morning, Grenada. It's your boy Troy, and of course, this morning we want to get straight into our workout to get you pumped and get you ready for today. We are here in St. George's, just over Sendell Tunnel, guys. All right, and this morning's workout is focused a little bit on more of your legs, a little bit of your core. All right, guys, so we want to get straight into it. So follow me as we go along. All right, you guys ready? So put your hands on your temple, you lift your knees up. Right, we're gonna alternate it, then we're gonna get some squats going. And like I always say with the squats, all right, you squat to where you can reach. For those of you who have bad joints, you have bad knees. All right, you guys ready? Let's go. So 1, squat, nice and easy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, nice and easy. 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Then we're gonna get into a state of what I call active rest. All right, guys, so we're gonna be doing 2 movements this morning. All right, so we're gonna get into the second movement. All right, guys, so this is what I call active rest. You're resting in and between workouts, but you're still, right, burning some calories, right, lifting those knees, moving those hands. All right, guys. All right, so second movement. You guys ready? Let's go. 1, squat, nice. 2, nice and easy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Good job, guys, if you were following. And like I said to you before, if you can't do the deep squat, all right, you can squat to where you can reach. All right, guys? Right. All right, so we're back into a state of active rest, right? We're trying to burn as much calories as possible and get a nice little sweat going. All right, guys, and like I always say, always take your sips of water in and between sets, right? Make sure that you stay hydrated. All right, so we're into our second round. You guys ready? All right, let's go. 1, squat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Woo! Good job, guys. If you are following, and this is going to help to tone, right, your leg muscles. All right, guys. Squats are very effective for toning your legs, right, your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads, right, getting your legs nice and toned. All right, and with that first movement, it also targets a little bit of your abs as well. All right, so we're back into a state of active rest, right? We're getting into the second workout in the second round. You guys ready? All right, let's go. 1, squat, nice and easy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Good job, guys. If you were following, and remember to take your sips of water in and between sets, right? It's important to stay hydrated, guys. Really important. All right, so we're going into our third and final round of exercises, right? And like I said before, this is a very effective exercise that targets your legs and your abdominals as well, your abs. All right, guys, to get you nice and toned, right? And we're still in a state of active rest in and between sets. All right, guys, very effective, very simple, yet very effective workout. All right, guys, and like I said to you before, I just want to encourage you, right, to squat to where you can reach for those of you who have bad knees. All right, guys, so we're into our final round. You guys ready? Are you guys ready? All right, let's go. 1, squat, good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! Good job, guys. If you're following, and now we are back into a state of active rest. All right, guys, remember, take your sips of water in and between sets as well. All right, so we're into the final exercise in the final round. I hope you guys have been following. All right, guys, you guys ready? All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, One more. 10. Woo! Good job, guys. If you're following, very simple, yet very effective exercise that you can do to get your legs nice and toned, right? Get them in shape, and it also targets your midsection as well. All right, guys, so we're gonna do a quick cool down just to get a little stretch going. All right, guys? Nice. So you spread your legs apart, nice and easy. Push your knees back. You reach down as far as you can go, down to the floor, nice and easy, to where you can reach. If you can touch the floor, even better. Woo! And back up. Then you stretch this way. You hold it. Nice. Back the other way. Stretch. Woo! Nice. Good job, guys. If you are following, and I want to encourage you to make water your #1 beverage. All right? Remember to stay hydrated. Drink as much water as you can. All right, guys? And I also want to encourage you to make healthy choices as well. All right, guys? Thank you so much for joining us. See you again on Rise and Shine.
On a general sense, the ideology of diets has had different reviews across the world. From broadly within the medical field, we don't even recommend diets per se, but we understand there are certain circumstances where a particular diet is needed. Generally, we recommend that people eat a balanced diet. But if there are people who have things like kidney failure or certain types of disease, a special diet may be required for them. But for all intents and purposes, diets to a large extent doesn't really work. As a matter of fact, the nutritionists and the nutrition fraternity describe these things called yo-yo diet, which is people go on a diet to achieve a certain outcome, and after they go back on the normal diet, then their body returns to worse than where they were before. So diet is something that we don't really like people to do per se, but that you must eat a balanced diet. But that being said, if people are interested in a special physical outcome or physiological outcome, the very first thing is to speak to your physician so that your doctor can recommend to you what is the best option if you so desire. For people who use the gym, for example, there is a specific diet that they should, a recommended diet that should use high in protein and so on, and that is necessary for them. People who are prone to chronic non-communicable diseases, the diet must include lots of fruits and vegetables, and not much of the refined processed, refined sugars. And so that's the general guideline that we give for people who are of non-communicable disease. The sugars that you really should cut off from your diet is the refined sugars. That's the one you really should cut off. And to put it simple, refined sugars is all the sugars that took a boat and a plane to come here. That's refined sugars, and leave it as that. Okay, everything else. Cutting off salt from your diet again, while that is a very good general practice, one has to be careful about cutting out all salts from their diets, because your body actually needs salt to function. Your sodium chloride, you need that to function. But of course, if you use too much salt, then that puts your kidneys under a lot of pressure. It causes your blood pressure to go up as well. So again, while I recommend general cutting down of salt and cutting off of all refined sugars, you still need a little bit of salt to for your body to function, and you still need a bit of sugar for your body to function adequately.
I'm Tony Julian with the details. Workers at the Consolidated Contractors Company CCC quarry in Mount Hartman downed tools on Monday as, according to them, they're doing so in solidarity with one of their colleagues who was terminated on Friday. The workers are insisting that their bosses meet with them to explain the reasons behind the action taken. Speaking to our news desk today, Clement Phillip said he'd received a letter on Friday dated the 25th of March carrying the heading termination without cause and was paid in lieu as he was not given prior notice to the termination. He has since taken the letter to the Ministry of Labour.
He terminated with a cause because then I know that I didn't do anything, to provoke anything. So, that is the position, with me right now. And then the workers decide that they will put on tools, in other words, to get some answers from the company. They didn't pay me off. They just give me a payment in lieu, right? Because then they're supposed to give me a month notice, and they didn't give me a month notice. So then they just give me a payment in lieu. Right, but they don't give me any other package besides that.
Philip now awaits the outcome of a meeting to be held between his former employer and the Ministry of Labour.
I went to the Ministry of Labour this morning, as a matter of fact, and presented the letter. You see, because then the letter that they give, the contract that they gave to us, that contract was a 3-month contract, comes like a probation, and following that, the year and month after, we didn't receive any other contract or nothing in writing, in other words, to give us that indication.
Our news desk contacted the office of the Consolidated Contractors Company CCC. However, efforts to get a comment on the matter proved futile. The Public Workers Union PWU is calling the offer made by the Grenada Investment Development Corporation GIDC unsatisfactory as protest action continues at the compound of the office. According to the union, they are ready to put the matter to rest. However, the employees must get what they deserve. The GIDC, on the other hand, is yet to comment publicly on the matter. Tanya St. Louis Lawrence has more.
We deserve better! GIDC, we deserve better! We deserve better! GIDC, we deserve better! Do better, GIDC! Yes.
With the Public Workers Union refusing an offer of a 5% salary increase cumulative for all the years involved, the workers of the Grenada Investment Development Corporation continue protest action for the 5th week. President of the Public Workers Union, Brian Grimes, says the offering brought to the table during negotiations on March 16th cannot be accepted on the workers' behalf.
The workers have been waiting for 3 years. Right? 3 years. The time value of money has to be taken into consideration. The 5% cumulative offer has not even taken into consideration inflation over that period. It has not covered it. So certainly this offer, as the workers have said during the protest here, that they deserve a lot more.
The union is at the point of utilizing all options in ensuring a fair settlement for the GIDC employees.
All things are in play going forward. We're going to utilize our industrial protests. We're going to have social dialogue, whatever it takes for a fair offer to be placed on the table. But you cannot give these workers, underbid these workers. They deserve much more than that.
Public Relations Officer of the Public Workers Union, Daisy Hazard, says the protest action aims to settle at a figure suitable for all parties involved. However, 5% for the 3 years is not fair.
Because when we returned to negotiations last Wednesday, we did so in good faith, having been invited back by the negotiations team. And the head of that team, Mr. Obiki, really made a case for good faith and for resolving this situation within the shortest possible time frame. And so there was no way at all that the unions and the workers could have expected that the offer that was going to come back in the context of all that was said would have been a paltry 5% over the spread of 3 years.
President of the Technical and Allied Workers Union, Andre Lewis, was again standing in solidarity with the GIDC workers.
And I'm sort of surprised that I have to be here because I was certainly under the impression that that matter would be resolved already. One could never have expected that the company would offer 5% over a 3-year period, especially in this particular period. And I want to commend the workers once again for their resoluteness, their firmness, and the defiance as they continue to fight for what is rightfully theirs.
I am Tonya St. Louis Lawrence reporting for the MTV Evening News.
The Royal Grenada Police Force is investigating a chopping incident that occurred on Sunday in La Porterie Marquis, St. Andrew. According to reports, the altercation between a nephew and his grand-uncle left the grand-uncle nursing chop wounds at the General Hospital. In fact, Francis Charles received several chop wounds about the body, including to his head, neck, and hand. This morning, he underwent surgery to repair his hand. Officer in charge of the Community Relations Department, ASP Desmond Richards, says the investigation into the matter continues.
Oh yes, well, the police can confirm, we can confirm that they were chopping somewhere in La Porterie over the weekend. One man is hospitalized as we speak, and another is in police custody assisting with that investigation. We can give further updates as more information comes to us, but that is what it is for now.
The Assistant Superintendent is urging the public to reduce the use of weaponry when settling disputes.
The use of weapons does not solve a conflict. In fact, it makes the problem you're trying to solve worse. And of course, where you might have a little quarrel and nothing could come out of it, now you have a chopping where somebody is in hospital, somebody might even die, or somebody ends in jail. And so even if two persons have a problem, the use of offensive weapons, use of dangerous weapons is not the way to go. If two persons in a quarrel for whatever reason and they realize that they are not getting anywhere, you could find somebody neutral to hear the matter and to better advise them as to what to do. Or that's why the police is there. Come to the police before you take matters into your hand. That's what we are paid to do. That's what the public paying us to do. To help with these matters, help solve crime, help prevent crime, help advise persons onto the best way forward.
ASP Richards says dealing violently with disputes only makes matters worse.
I would advise, let us put on the weapons. It doesn't do well for your nation, it doesn't do well for your community, it doesn't do well for your family. Because now you're having a family might be grieving, or two families, because the perpetrator family might be embarrassed and having to face their son or their daughter, some uncle, somebody, have done something where now they making the media and in the public doing not for a good thing, but for a crime. As well as the other family who might be nursing somebody that an injury, having to run up and down by doctor, and then of course the court come into play. You end in prison, you spoil your good name and you spoil your good record, and of course which will affect you and can affect you very badly, negatively in the future.
The Royal Grenada Police Force is giving kudos to the general public for their cooperation during the cricket at the National Stadium. However, while doing so, they say several accidents, fires and crimes were recorded. That's according to ASP Desmond Richards, head of the Community Relations Department. He says that also includes a pedestrian being struck by a vehicle. Let's get more on it though from Nikita Holston.
The Royal Grenada Police Force is praising the public for their cooperation during the cricket at the stadium. ASP Desmond Richards, head of the Community Relations Department, says no reports of incidents and crimes were recorded.
Well, kudos to the public, because even the foreigners are speaking about the atmosphere and the environment and the welcoming and the friendliness of the people. And just generally how things was done, in a nice way. And of course, we really thank the public, because this can only happen. It doesn't matter what systems the police put in place. If the public don't adhere to it, then it causes problems. And so we really want to again express our thankfulness to the public.
However, several serious accidents were recorded on island, according to ASP Desmond Richard, which are currently under investigation, including a pedestrian being struck down by a vehicle.
Within the weekend to this morning, 3 serious accidents. One occurred in Sobeys, St. Andrews, I think yesterday. A vehicle ran off the road and would have damaged 2 other vehicles, I believe, and some of the passengers got injured. That again, the police is investigating as well. And I think yesterday too, we had another accident, serious accident in Lagoon Road, where a vehicle turned over. The 3 passengers, but they only received minor injuries. And of course, this morning, we had another serious accident in Canfor Junction, that is Calvini Road, where a vehicle would have collided with a pedestrian. We're not sure as to his state yet. He received some injuries and was taken for a medical check at the General Hospital.
ASP Desmond Richards is again pleading with drivers to be careful on the nation's road.
We continue to appeal to motorists, drivers, to be more cautious on our roads, and due kind of attention is necessary. We have more vehicles on the road these days, more people are traversing.
In other developments, a decomposed body was found on Saturday, according to the RGPF.
Yes, this morning I received information that there was a sudden death in somewhere in Belmont, where a female, I think, was found partially decomposed. That investigation is also continuing as to the circumstances surrounding her death, and so we just in the preliminary stage.
Nikita Houston, MTV News.
So curtains came down on Sunday at the National Cricket Stadium as Team West Indies completed a 10-wicket win on the 4th day of the 3rd Test in Grenada to secure a series win over England. MTV visited the National Cricket Stadium on Saturday and spoke with both locals and foreigners alike to hear about their experiences. We get more in this report.
It was a carnival-like atmosphere at the National Cricket Stadium on Saturday as visitors and locals came out to witness Day 3 of Test cricket between England and the West Indies. Masqueraders in carnival costumes and visitors were seen enjoying the games along with Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell and other government officials. MTV News was at the stadium and spoke to visitors about the experience on the Spice Isle. Most of the visitors say they plan on returning to the country.
It's like amazing. They're both so evenly matched. You cannot pick between the 2 sides. I've been to Carriacou, which was amazing. Been to Petite Martinique, excellent.
First time to the Caribbean, first time to Grenada. A great game of cricket. Should be a result finally, which is great. And I hope England bat well today.
We love it here, yeah.
From the States. Yeah, I'm from Maine and she's from Mississippi.
They were very nice and we were very well looked after. And so this is a very nice place, True Blue Resort. They look after us well.
Local spectators visiting the game say the hosting of international cricket in our country means well for the economy.
Just talking to some of the Barmy Army group from England, close to 2,000 of them came in. So it's incredible, an influx of money and stuff to the country. I think it's very, very good. Also, it's going internationally. So this is a great opportunity for people who have never seen Grenada or heard about Grenada. They get an opportunity to see it actually on the TV.
I can tell you it's a kind of hype, you can see a kind of renewed life, renewed vigor exhibited among the people in general and more so the people who are attending the games.
It's a good boost of tourism because I noticed half of the people there are almost from abroad, all the English people came up, and the local people get to showcase their products, and even the people who do food, they get a chance to sell and things like that.
Grenadians needed this, all right? Business people, especially small business, and we have all these visitors who are, looking at viewing all these local products, jewelry, we have other body stuff, and so on. And this would mean for them, locals seeing it, and so, but the people who come, they will appreciate this is locally made.
It's very good for the country. For instance, this morning on my way, I saw the Carib truck, and when I asked them where they're going, they say, well, the people from River Road went totally out of drinks, so they call them in to bring in drinks for them. So I think it's doing well for the vendors, the shopkeepers, and everyone.
Prime Minister of Grenada, Dr. Keith Mitchell, witnessed Sunday's victory by the West Indies. He says he's happy with the turnout of the cricket and the economic spin-off effects.
Excellent. I'm extremely happy. The players and the English supporters, they were all saying that this is the best place they've been. And the temperature, the attitude of the people, how accommodating the people have been. That's Grenadians. And with the spice we have, they felt good. Even the West Indies players, the local Caribbean players, complimented the team. They complimented the country.
Nikita Hoston, MTV News.
It was more than 17,000 visitors who converged in Grenada in the last week for the third Apex test between West Indies and England, giving the economy the needed boost since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. MTV News spoke with vendors and shopkeepers outside the National Stadium who say the last couple of days business was booming for them as they had the opportunity to increase their sales significantly.
So this is the table where visitors could come and get a Grenadian title. All of the books on this table are written by a Grenadian. I myself have three titles on this table. And we have books of different genres, from poetry to short stories.
So much, Cecile, and that's the weather forecast for today. We encourage you to use it as information to help you plan. Always be prepared. Remember, while we are in the dry season, you can still get some showers, but you should always be prepared. So we're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, we get on into our first discussion for the morning.
App brings the power of Nawasa's customer service experience to you. Instant, conversational, and smart. Easy access anywhere. Get bill balance, transaction history for up to 6 months, report a fault, link to websites, view payment centers, contact information, push notifications, and multi-tenant accounts, all in a secure login platform. like a self-service concierge app, mobile.nawasa.gd gets you the support you need much faster. Available on both Android and iOS platforms. Mobile.nawasa.gd, your customer support companion. Nawasa, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Glam out in the best names and designer frames with Quartz Optical. Buy one stylish frame and get 50% off your second pair. Sport your favorite Armani, Converse, Vogue, and many more frames for less. Get an additional 10% off and pay nothing for 30 days when you pay with Ready Finance. Book your free eye examination appointment online today on www.quartzoptical.com. Don't miss the opportunity to glam out, only at Quartz Optical. Value you can see. Offer available while stocks last. Special conditions apply.
Introducing the Grenlec mobile app. You can now get your bill balance and easily track energy usage for your home or business. Report and receive alerts about power outages. Plus, stay up to date by receiving the latest notifications. Yes, the Grenlec app keeps you connected anytime, anywhere.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Rise and shine.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. It's now 7:43 in the morning. So if you are heading to work for 8 o'clock, you do have some time, but at least try to get there long before so that you can settle down and start at 8. So I am always privileged to welcome Mr. Troy Garvey, Chairperson of the National Organizing Committee for our just concluded successful Apex test, final Apex test here in Grenada. Mr. Garvey, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Osland, good morning to you and good morning to all your viewers and listeners across the various platforms that you use. And it's indeed a pleasure being with you again this morning.
A patriot, a true patriot, and we have the results. I want to say thank you to you and the team for a successful final test here in Grenada. I think the country has won, not just West Indies, and you topped it off well with just West Indies giving us that one. Mr. Garvey, speak to us about post-cricket. What was it like for you for 4 days? 4 days, it was a lot of work for you. We know that before, but you did the hard work, and I think it has paid off.
Well, I think you summed it up so well that the country benefited, the country won, and the icing on the cake was the victory of the men in maroon team West Indies. And I think it's so fitting for us at this time to spend a moment. Probably I've not had the time as yet to reflect, but I think it's so fitting right now when something, very often when something goes wrong, we hear the noise. You know, it's so loud that it wasn't handled right, it wasn't done right. And this is something I do believe that Grenada got right at the right time. And there are a number of persons that I think that came together, giving up their time, their expertise, and everything needed to pull this whole thing together for the country. First and foremost, I think we must say for the vision and the strategic moves of the government to accept and bid and secure the game, the third game, and with all the elements coming together, it played very, very well for us as a country. But we continue to speak about thanking persons. This was not about me. I'm the smallest pin in the cog. There are so many other persons involved. And I think first and foremost, we recognize the input and the vision of the government. But I think the ground staff. Mr. Holas and his team needs to be congratulated, needs to be complimented, needs to be recognized for the job well done. We saw what happened in the first 2 test matches in Antigua and in Barbados. And we were on top of it with Mr. Rayful Croney and Mr. Curlin Peters at the ministry to ensure that the ground staff delivered. And Team Holas and the 25 guys did a fantastic job. All the elements, the most important thing about cricket is the pitch and field and the teams. And the team, Holas and his team, did their part, delivered an excellent script for a result. We were very confident from the offset that the work that was put into the ground, there will be a result. I said so before the game, and at the end of the game, it's quite pleasing to see that there was a result. And also to the Cricket Association, Kerry Frank, Dwayne Gill and his team for delivering assistant CWI for the game day management of the event. I think they must be congratulated for a job well done. The stadium staff, and it was not just 4 days. These guys have been going for the past 3-4 months to try to get the facility ready at a level that's acceptable to hold an event of this nature. And I think Ms. Fields and Mr. Patrick Lewison and the team at the National Stadium did a fantastic job. RGPF, the guys in uniform, you know, must say a very special thank you to them. Commissioner Martin and all the commanders on the ground, Mr. Glenn Paul and ACP Charles, all these guys did a fantastic job to really pull the whole thing together. And at the end of the day, we saw a victory for Team West Indies, historic one, beating England, winning the Richards Botham Trophy, and such a great feeling, not only in St. George's, but it resonated across the Caribbean. But I do believe, and I said it before, the overall winner here, the big winner here was Grenada, Team Grenada, everyone. The guys in River Road, the small bars outside of the stadium, along the Melville Street, everybody came together doing what was expected to deliver a great package. And I almost forgot the energetic, aggressive approach of the Grenada Tourism Authority.
Yeah.
You know, Miss Petra Roach and Nicoanne Roberts and Georgette and the entire team for coming together, understanding the importance and placing Grenada firmly on the map, especially in the European market, through, you know, the coverage and everything that we would have received as a country. I think we got it right. I think that Grenada won, and we look forward to continuing to see it and the benefits not only in the now, but in the medium and short term. I met a gentleman, 2 men, by the Kirani James roundabout last Sunday, and they came up to me seeking directions. They did not know who I was, just trying to get to the stadium, and we entered into a conversation. And I told them who I was. They were happy to meet me, and they asked about the strip, and I told them it's a wicket for a result. I met them again yesterday evening at a local restaurant, and they came up to me and say, Troy, all what you told us came to pass. They enjoy the cricket. They were British fans. They lost. They were not happy about that. But after enjoying the stadium for 3.5 days, yesterday they jumped on the ferry and went to Carriacou to also have a feel of Carriacou. So that's what happened yesterday. You know, the visitors had nowhere to go but to continue to enjoy, see different places, see different things of our country. And of course, that was another plus for beautiful Grenada. I think, again, Grenada won this one big time.
I agree with you fully.
I think today is the most important part of the activity. You know, as you rightfully said, when things go wrong, we hear it all the time. When things go right, we always find it hard to come back and say thank you. And we know that, as you said, it was a team effort, huge team effort, the field, the groundsmen. And I remember when you spoke to me first, when cricket was coming, and you said this is not about, it would not just be cricket. but it will be an experience. It really was an experience. That mini carnival, I think it brought, after 2 years of no carnival in Grenada, I think it brought our true masqueraders to tears. And I think it is really preparing. It not only prepared our visitors for carnival, but also our locals for what's to come here in August. Cricket, it was really an experience this year, Mr. Garvey.
Well, we were very strategic in terms of what, there are a number of things that came together right with this event. A number of things. The timing, you know, the stage of the pandemic in the country, and a number of things, all the elements were just aligned for this kind of result. You know, there were concentration, we had concerns about the pandemic, and with the Ministry of Health monitoring what was taking place and the strategic decisions being made at the right time. We saw Carriacou Carnival. What happened? That was monitored closely. We know what is going to happen from the 4th of April here in Grenada. So when the decision was made to come to try to use this event as a platform to again send the message that this country, this region is ready, it was embraced by CWI, and again the government took the lead. If you remember, when we hosted the South Africans here for the 5-1 Day Internationals last year, we were the first country in the region to allow vaccinated patrons into the stands. And thereafter, come now, the decision I was made to say, look, let us open up. Let's take the step right now. And all these things came together at the right time, and we are seeing the results now. I think it sends the message that not just Grenada, but the region is ready to re-engage, and we can re-engage at this level. I'm sure that the tour operators, the taxi drivers, the charter companies, the hotels, the restaurants, if you remember, that hospitality sector took a beating for the past 2 years. The restaurants suffered, the tour operators, the vendors, all these persons suffered. The whole tourism product was almost at a standstill, non-existent. And we got this at the right time to say, look, we are ready. And what we also did, if you saw around the stadium, was the strategic placements to advertise and promote the next major event here, which is Spice Mass 2022. Yeah. The announcements being made before and using the event to show part of the world that, look, what it could be like, what is going to be like in August. I think that also played well, again, for country, for another deliverable later in the year, which is Spice Mass. To show again, we are ready. Come on over. The Spice is ready. The Spice can engage, and you're guaranteed a good time.
And from all indications,
as we say, from every so-called bad opportunity, from every bad situation comes many, many opportunities. And it appears as though we have been thinking and capitalizing on it. Mr. Garvey, I was about to touch on the economic impact. Sports brings a lot more to a country than just competition or sports. The economic impact is tremendous. And I think it's safe to say, and one of the stories just before we came on the program spoke to it, the bars in River Road. The guys can say that I believe they are happy. You heard a woman speaking about she's seen a Buick truck going over on Sunday morning to River Road, and she's asking, where are they going? And they said the bars in River Road called them. We won.
It's not just the vendors, the whole atmosphere. Yes. And again, the operators and the persons in the River Road area must be congratulated. They're welcome, they're hosted, they ensure that the visitors had a fantastic time. And again, when it's needed, I think that we as Grenadians, we stepped up to the plate. And the guys in River Road stepped up big time. And it's not only, and that spilled off. You travel along the Melville Street, every little shop you find persons having a cold one, and that's what these events do once we get it right, and that's what we were telling persons, prepare yourself, it's going to happen. The Barmy Army came, the visitors came, and everybody was just so ready. And the cricket was great. For the first 2 days, it was a balanced match. You know, teams well poised, waiting for, and then we saw the English collapse, which we welcomed because as West Indians, we urge, we enjoy seeing victory, you know, but I think the economic impact of this one will be far reaching. I think it was timely. And I hope that I'm sure an assessment will be done in terms of, and from the beginning, I told persons, if one of your benchmarks is going to be how much persons in the stand, you're along the wrong path. We have a facility of close to 14,000 persons. We will never be able to fill 14,000 persons in the stand. Okay? We had a great game. We had a few thousand persons, the right people. We had the right amount of persons who came through the Morris Bishop International Airport, and the visitor experience started there. The staff at the Morris Bishop International Airport, the customs, the immigration, all these persons played their part to create that visitor experience for us. And it was so pleasing. And persons came up to me, visitors, and one thing, Grenada was great. We had a great time. We could have won. The team played badly. Our team played badly, but we enjoyed Grenada. And that is what is so pleasing to know. And that's why I can continue to say this was a victory for the homeland. This was a victory for the spice. This was a victory to ensure that, look, as a people, we are ready. We can engage. We can put ourselves back on the market. And when we always stand out. We are hard on ourselves sometimes. We can be very critical, but I think it drives us to deliver at a very high level. And from all reports, all the preliminary reports that we have received from spectators, from teams, from everyone, it was extremely positive. And I think all kudos, 2 thumbs up for Grenada and all the persons who were involved. It's just a special feeling. And I think it resonated throughout the Caribbean. Yeah. It was nice to see the comments on social media, and you know, you feel in Barbados and in Jamaica, you see a West Indian team, to see Team West Indies winning here in the Spice. What more could you ask for? That was the wish list. That was the dream months ago. And today on the 29th, you know, we can sit back and say, thank you, good Lord, for all these things coming together, and for us all as a people, as a nation, coming together and doing this right and getting it right for the country.
Thank you, Mr. Garvey. I don't think there's anything else to ask on this one. It is a beautiful end. It's a beautiful end, and I want us to end on that high note. Moving forward, what can we continue to expect? We know that we have to wait to hear if we may just get another game, but for the year. But we are grateful for what we have.
From meetings we have been having, as a matter of fact, even just last night, we had a meeting with one of the senior members from Cricket West Indies, and the calendar of activities for the next 3 years is being looked at right now, starting next week at the ICC level. Mm-hmm. So we will know very soon where West Indies will be going, who will be coming, and we hope that with our display, recent display, would put Grenada high on the calendar based on our responses here. Again, like I did before, I would like to manage your expectations. Every team coming will not be the same as England. Every team coming will not be the same as England. If you understand what I'm saying, you know, the impact of, let's say, Pakistan will not be the same as England. So we have to manage these expectations. But I do believe whatever games that we're getting, I think that we can deliver at the very highest level. And I think it's a plus for cricket. And they're cricket next week at the stadium again, because there's a local T10 tournament that starts next week. There's a regional tournament that is going to continue. So I think you need to continue to be a part of, continue to support the game, continue to be a part of the game, and just keep our fingers crossed and hope that we have more international engagements, and as a country we can benefit as we did from this one. But again, for Team Grenada, all the persons, everyone, special mention to Mr. Holas and his team on the grounds for setting the stage for us all to enjoy what we are enjoying right now. Again, to everyone, to the country, thank you very much for making us so proud. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Garvey. It is always a pleasure speaking with you, and it was a pleasure this morning. And now I want to commend you. I know you said that you're a very, very minute dot in all of this, but
very small, and it's a very small card. Just one of the persons who really pull. There are a number of persons behind the scene. I probably might be one of the more, focal ones to the forefront. But there are a number of persons. It's a long list. The Minister of Sports, the Honorable Yolande Bain Hosford, her team at the ministry, Miss Sandy, her secretary, for pulling together long hours behind the scene, not being heard. There are a number of persons. The Minister of Tourism, she marshaled her troops and had wanting to know exactly every step of the way. Everyone came together because I think we all understood the importance of this event to country. And as much as we got it right, we could not afford to get it wrong. So the pressure was on us to ensure that we delivered. So everyone, it's not just about Troy Garvey. That's the smallest link. There are much more bigger persons and important persons who pull this whole event together. The officers at the customs, everyone played their part at the right time, ensuring that everything happened. It was a holistic approach. The country stepped up, the country stepped forward, and I think the country should be congratulated.
I will accept. I will accept that. Thank you so much again, and congratulations to you and the team for great cricket at the stadium last weekend. Mr. Garvey, do have yourself a wonderful day, and we look forward to more. We keep our fingers crossed, and we look forward to more.
Thank you very much. You enjoy the rest of the day, and good morning to all the listeners. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Mr. Garvey. Do have yourself the same. And we were speaking there with Mr. Troy Garvey, chairperson of the local national organizing committee for cricket. Just concluded cricket. As we said, Grenada won. It was not just West Indies. Grenada won. It was for great day, and we needed this. This injection was needed, and we got exactly everything. Just aligned itself perfectly to make it exactly what we wanted it to be. So successful. It was a very, very successful one. And to all, I now say thank you to you. We, as Grenadians, we are all proud and very, very appreciative of all your contributions out there in ensuring that it was a success. So to all, and Team West Indies, we are happy. We are always excited and great once you're winning. But whether or not you're winning, win or lose, as we say, we're supporting. We are supporting. So to our visitors on Ireland, continue to enjoy the spice, and please come back again. Our next huge event is that of Spice Mass 2022. So let's take a quick break. When we come back, we get on into our second discussion.
Say hello to Grenada's hidden gem, Mandela Court, a Grenadian-owned luxury boutique hotel tucked away in Lansipine. Our fully equipped suites are now complemented by an international standard restaurant and conference room. So whether you're having a formal business event, quaint garden wedding, or just a relaxed dinner for two, you can count on Mandela Court for that luxurious experience. Call today to book your viewing or reservation. We look forward to welcoming you.
Introducing the Grenlec mobile app. You can now get your bill balance and easily track energy usage for your home or business. Report and receive alerts about power outages. Plus, stay up to date by receiving the latest notifications. Yes, the Grenlec app keeps you connected anytime, anywhere. The Grenlec mobile app. Download for 24/7 access.
The Nawasa app brings the power of Nawasa's customer service experience to you. Instant, conversational, and smart. Easy access anywhere. Get bill balance, transaction history for up to 6 months, report a fault, link to websites, view payment centers, contact information, push notifications, and multi-tenant accounts, all in a secure login platform. Like a self-service concierge app, mobile.nawasa.gd gets you the support you need much faster. Available on both Android and iOS platforms. Mobile.nawasa.gd, your customer support companion. Nawasa, committed to meeting customers' needs.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business.
For your education.
For your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Glam out in the best names and designer frames with Quartz Optical. Buy one stylish frame and get 50% off your second pair. Sport your favorite Armani, Converse, Vogue, and many more frames for less. Get an additional 10% off and pay nothing for 30 days when you pay with Ready Finance. Book your free eye examination appointment online today on www.quartzoptical.com. Don't miss the opportunity to glam out. Only at Quartz Optical. Value you can see. Offer available while stocks last. Special conditions apply.
Introducing the Grenlec mobile app. You can now get your bill balance and easily track energy usage for your home or business. Report and receive alerts about power outages. Plus, stay up to date by receiving the latest notifications. Yes, the Grenlec app keeps you connected anytime, anywhere.
Rise and shine.
Welcome back. It was a beautiful conversation for our first discussion this morning. We won. Grenada won, West Indies won. We are all happy. The experience was great. We had an opportunity to go outside, to be outside, be you vaccinated or not. And people enjoyed cricket. We enjoyed good competition, and so too did our visitors. Our local economy, we did get that injection that we're looking for. I know an complete assessment will be done, but we are grateful to all who supported. And it is the start of many more, because cricket was last weekend. Next week, Thursday, the return of Intercall. That's great. That is fantastic. Because, you know, it has been a couple of years, even before the pandemic, we did have that toss-up with that issue with our teachers and no Intercall. I mean, we have children now in Form 3 that has never experienced an Intercall. Going to school, we looked forward to that. We looked forward to going to Intercall. The competition, the rivalry between our secondary schools. I mean, you look forward to Intercall. Intercall was a big thing in secondary school. And I know children, before you got to secondary school, you always, I'm going to Intercall. I'm looking forward to going to Intercall. But you did not. So those in Form 3 or so, it's your first. It will be your first Intercall. Enjoy, please. We see what's happening with our young people. Behave yourselves. Go out there and have fun, not fight. Clean fun. Remember, sports is not just about competition. It teaches you a lot more control, discipline. And we want you to take away the positives from the event, not an opportunity to do something wrong. Parents, encourage us. Speak to our children. Speak to our children. Speak to our boys and speak to our girls. Not just the boys, the girls too. Speak to them. We are the guiding figures here. But remember, we also are ambassadors We need to be ambassadors of our message. I speak about this all the time. As a parent, we don't get to say one and do another. They will do what they see us doing. So let's do what we need to do to ensure that we are making meaningful contributions in the lives of our children. We are still waiting on our second guest. What we can do, though, is possibly take in maybe a music video as we wait on him. We have been trying to speak to, now I think I see he's on now. Pastor Devon Rashe, who is here to speak with us. So what we're going to do is, Pastor Rashe, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. I was just about to take a quick break, and you popped in the right time. Good morning and welcome. It's been a while we've been trying to have this conversation.
Good morning to you, and good morning to all viewers and listeners. So good to be with you, and I'm thankful that we finally get to connect this morning.
Yes, I agree.
So let's get on into the discussion. This morning we're talking about, it's a program to do with our children, education. Let's speak about that from the ministry's end.
Yes, and we are speaking about the values-based education project, and this is a project of the Ministry of Education that was launched early last year, and it's really, really good to be able to speak about this project, especially because of the nature of the project. So allow me to give you a little bit of an overview as to what the project is about. The Values-Based Education Project is a project that was really initiated by the Minister of Education, and the process of beginning the project started in the year 2020. In fact, it started out of some consultation that the Minister of Education had with different stakeholders within our society. At the time, I was serving as president of the Alliance of Evangelical Churches, and the Minister of Education invited us to be part of this consultative process because, she had concerns about the breakdown in values that she was seeing within our society. And she felt that something needed to be done. And as such, we got together. A committee was put together to come up with some recommendations as to what can be done to address the issues of values within our society. And coming out of this consultative process, there were some 15 recommendations that was put together and that was submitted to the ministry. And those recommendations were approved by cabinet. Out of this came the launch of this values-based education project that will see schools implement and every month a focus on at least one value. And that is what the project is really about, where every school is focusing on implementing one value per month. In this part of the project, we are in the pilot phase. And in this phase, there are 7 schools that are engaged. And these schools over time have been really focusing on getting children involved and parents involved in focusing on values. And those values obviously would hopefully impact behavioral change. And we have already been receiving reports from schools that this is beginning to have an impact on students.
Okay, so that is where it came from. And I am happy that we have gotten to that part of values. The minister recognizing that we have that shortfall, because just before we came on, I was speaking about the same thing. And it's a very passionate topic for me. And I think it'll be the same for you. As parents, we note, especially those of us, as I keep saying, who are still, I still consider to be very grateful to have those sound foundations from parents that now our children will call old, but I think it set us right. It did give us the right foundation. And a program like that now is needed more than ever, because we need to provide guidance to our children.
Yeah, that's correct. There's a maxim that says it takes a community to raise a child. And many times I know that with many of the modern parents, and some people might consider me to be one of those, we feel that we do not want people to be engaged in the raising of our children. But it really takes more than just the parent to impact the behavior of a child. And so this project engages stakeholders within the community. We are speaking about the school is involved. We have community-based organizations that are also involved as part of the project. Other stakeholders, including churches and whatever organizations exist within the community. And in addition to this, we also see the teachers playing some type of role, because obviously children are spending a lot of their time at the school. And one of the things that this project is seeking to do as well is to encourage peer advocacy in terms of value. So there is an incentive program that is part of the project, which at the end of every year, you will see both schools and students individually being recognized for their efforts in terms of promoting value. So not just students who we have seen marked improvement in the behavior, but also we are speaking about schools as well. And in addition to that, the students who have been engaged in being peer advocates, because it is so important that not just from the teacher's side or the parent side, but that the peers of these children are encouraging them to espouse positive values. And we have really also seen a real breakdown over time in some of the values that as a society we held there. I mean, I remember, I was just walking through Tantine one of those afternoons, and it is part of me because we have been trained this way that when you pass people, you will say good morning, good afternoon. And I just walked past the students because it was around the time school was dismissed, and it's just part of you. So I would start saying good afternoon, and maybe about after saying good afternoon the 10th time, I realized that there was no response forthcoming from the students, as you said, good afternoon, and so on. So I'm saying basic things like that, basic etiquette, things that have really affected and impacted the type of people we are, the type of society we are. Those things are very important in shaping our students, because it is not just the raw academic stuff. You need beyond the academics to be successful when you have finished school, because part of employability is a lot of the attitudes. I know people often speak about customer service and the lack of customer service in some places, but you really cannot give what is not part of you. Some things are difficult to train, if it's not really part of you. And so those values that you can really get as part of this values-based education project is going to make you more employable, make you more successful in your career, because obviously it impacts a whole host of other things.
I'm happy that
you took the conversation exactly where I would love us to go with it, because what we do today, this program, and its importance, and what I enjoy, or rather what I appreciate, is the comprehensive nature of it. Because, Pastor Rashe, we have seen it in our workplaces. We have a challenge. We often hear people speak of it. Customer service. They don't smile. They don't want to make eye contact. They don't want to speak to you. There is no conversation. Nobody wants to engage. But it goes back to those phones. They're always texting. They don't know how to converse because we no longer speak to them. They can only speak to us through those coded messages that they send us. No word is fully spelt anymore. We use abbreviations, and some of them I can tell you I'm lost. Sometimes I feel I'm old, but I don't think I am. But I'm lost in them because we have to do it right. It is like learning to drive on manual, and then you can purchase yourself later down the road an automatic vehicle. But you learn the fundamentals, and that is our challenge.
Certainly, and again, it is so important. I mean, sometimes we really decrease the importance of some of these factors that we are speaking about. We see that just having the certification has been important, but I can tell you, I've sat on, for many businesses, I've sat on interview panels for employing people. We may have interviews for employment, and oftentimes you come across persons who have the same qualifications coming before you, and what affects the decision you make in terms of who you will hire have a lot to do with the attitude, the way that person entered the interview, the way that person responded to your question. And some people cannot help themselves because they are lacking the etiquette. So obviously, even in the interview, notwithstanding that they were dressed and notwithstanding that they show up on time, if they did, after a while, their genuine attitude start coming out when they begin to ask questions within the interviewer. Not just that, but values like honesty, cleanliness, taking care of our environment. All of these are values that are respect for self, respect for others, and there's a whole host of values that we need to coexist as a society. And some of these things are things that are going to prevent a lot of the conflicts that we see within our society. It's going to affect how children respond to parents, or how children respond to discipline. It's going to really affect the future of our society, because for the most part, these young people are the ones who are going to emerge over time and are going to become the leaders within our society. And so it's really important for us to encourage the exposing of positive values. And this is what this program is seeking to do, and is something that the Minister of Education has been very passionate about, and has personally played a critical role in making sure that this program gets off the ground. And we compliment the school because they have really embraced this initiative. And there's a lot of passion concerning this, and we cannot wait to come out of this pilot phase, and so that we can see all schools involved in the implementation. But the coordinating teachers of the project with the respective schools have put together committees, and those committees have really taken seriously the need to plan effectively for this project. Some of the videos and pictures and so on that you see, and if you visit the schools, and some of the schools have started to post already on social media some of the activities that they have engaged in, you're going to realize that there's a lot of positive things happening. You know how our society operates. Many times we highlight a lot of the negative things, but even in the face of that, there are a lot of positive things, and these teachers have been making a tremendous effort in promoting values. But teachers obviously alone cannot raise these children. The parents are the primary place for raising the children, the family, the home. And so parents also have to play the role. So PTAs have been engaged in the process in ensuring that these parents are also playing their role. And then not just the parents, but the community. When you live in school compound, what is happening in the shop next to the school? What is happening, in that shop next to your home, or whatever the case is. So the community engagement is also important. And so we feel that the school, in a very small way, and in some way, can make some impact, and the rest of this can be carried over by the society, and we can really see a difference in our students, because obviously we cannot give up on them. We have to keep pushing and encouraging positive values.
I fully agree. What I would ask, though, the project was launched last year, and in an interesting and important time when it was launched, because we know then our children was into that world, that not the sociable one, the one where they were online. And we know that it was a time that encouraged the very antisocial and non-engaging behavior. So the timing was excellent. Measurement. How has it been, how you can say what can you speak to about the success of the program? And speak to us also about the timelines that you would have, the ministry has put down to see how we can then see the gains of the program, because we know that this was implemented with the hope of changing mindsets, but that takes time. Anything to do with the mind is a revolution, and that one is like the body adapting to new things. So we know that we cannot be overzealous, but our intention and hope is that we would get to where we want to be.
Most definitely. When you look at the project and the timelines that we are looking at, the ministry have determined that this project will be measured by ongoing monitoring. So there's monitoring that is taking place within the schools, just observing what is happening within the schools, what they're engaging in terms of visits and feedback from the coordinated teachers. But outside of that, there's an annual school survey that usually is produced by every school at the end of the school year. And within that survey, there are data sets that points to behavior of students. So we'll expect that those data sets will be indicative of whether the project is having an impact or not. For example, if you would have seen that, let's use, fights. If you would have seen like a school maybe had a number of fights over a period of time, we expect that that we'll see that number going down. The number of children who are dropping out for value affected areas, we will see that a decrease in those numbers because obviously you have an initiative now that is promoting and encouraging values within the school system. So the first part of this was to make sure that all of our schools are well trained. So this is a full systems approach. And as such, we are not just focusing on the teachers, but we have done training that included the teachers. We have done training that included the cleaners, the security officers, the secretary, the person who works in the library. Every person that is within the school environment that comes into contact with students has been part of this training. And outside of that, we have also done training, even more in-depth training with teachers in terms of how do you integrate values in your curriculum delivery. So as you teach math, you can teach values. As you teach social studies, you can incorporate values. Science, you can find opportunities to incorporate values because it must be a full systems approach. Everybody must be singing out of the same hymn sheet. But not just teaching, it is what we do. Because it is, what we teach our students is not just in what we say, but it's in what we do. So when we have our school events, what are we doing? When we have our school harvest, or schools are having fair, or schools are having sports, what are we allowing those environments that says, listen to us, our values are important to us as an organization? So that is one of the things that we are promoting as well. And so the first part was training, and then we are now in the pilot phase, and this pilot phase is going to go on until the end of the school year 2023. Yes. And after this pilot phase, you're going to see more schools come on board, and we're going to have an annual award. And this is going to be an ongoing project. So there is no period in which we expect that this project will be shut down. We expect that it is going to be ongoing, and over time, schools will receive through the incentive program. Schools will receive some financial grants that will empower them to even do more based on performance. Yes, they will do more in the project, and we expect that because of the flexibility that is allowed, because the schools themselves get to determine what values we're going to focus on, they get to determine what activities we're going to undertake in promoting these values. So you allow for the creativity of the students to come out, the creativity of the parents, teachers association, the creativity of other ancillary staffs within the school compound. They can determine, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're doing this value of cleanliness. This is how we're going to promote this. Another school might do the same value, and they might use different activities, but the outcome may be the same. Yes? And so that is what we anticipate.
That's a plan we can work with, and also an evaluation period. So we assess as we go, we improve as we go, because we will learn. There's no way of putting a manual that would give you exactly, would tell you exactly what people will do. But we learn as we go, and at the end of the day, it means that we will be getting some change, some mindset change. We change one person, I think our goal is achieved. We change two, well, I think it's even better. And as the numbers increase, it therefore means that the success rate, and as adults or as policymakers, we can say that we have made a difference. So, parting words on your end. I know this program must be very, very close and dear to you, because for one, you're playing a dual role here. In the church, you're doing a similar thing. And now you have an opportunity to do it in our schools, or play a part in ensuring that it happens in our schools. So I know this one will definitely be a personal project for you.
This is something that I've been very passionate about. Because really, we need this. It is something that everybody should really embrace and encourage. And this is one of the things I want to do, is to take the opportunity to encourage parents as well to play a crucial role. As a parent myself, I am concerned about the type of values, and in some cases, the breakdown in values we are seeing in some areas of our society. I'm concerned about that as well as a parent. And as a parent will say, well, I'm treating my children, it's up to other people to treat theirs. But the truth is that your children, like mine, will come into contact with everybody else's children when they go out in the public spaces. And like it or not, these other kids will have some necessary effect on your kids, because obviously it's just how socialization works. They spend a lot of time together with other kids at school. And this is why sometimes you see children will come home with certain attitudes that you have never trained, you know, and it's up to you to shape that and so forth. So all of us parents need to look out for every child and not just our own kids. And, you know, sometimes I pass in certain areas, and if I see kids doing things that they should not engage in, I'll pull over my vehicle and get out and call out and say, hey, what are you guys doing? You guys shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be engaged in this, you know. Some parents may just ignore, and I'm encouraging us as a society to play a little bit of a more active role in terms of how we engage our children. And I'm certainly not saying, you know, you have the right to hit somebody's child or whatever the case is, but a few words can have a lot of impact, you know, as a parent. And some children obviously may not respond positively to it, but there are others who may very well apply the instruction and directives that you're giving as an adult. I'm also encouraging us to play a role within the PTAs of our school, because as the school does this project, they need parents to be engaged. And so if you're a part of a school and they are part of this pilot project, so whether you're part of Hillsborough Government, GBSS, Grenville Secondary, Boca Secondary, Happy Hill Secondary, St. Mark's Secondary, Corinth Government, Hermitage Government School, I hope I didn't miss any one of those pilot schools. If you're a part of one of those schools, PTA, do ask the PTA about the project, and you try to get involved in terms of what is happening. Ask the PTA as to what they're doing concerning values, because every month that school is focusing on a different value, and you want to be engaged, you want to be involved in that. There's a coordinated teacher and so forth. So we really encourage everybody to come on board, to play a part, and to also, when the schools post those positive things that they are doing in promoting values, we are encouraging everybody to share. Yes, to share those things in public spaces so others can be encouraged, and our students can be encouraged by the promotion of positivity.
So much, Pastor Rashe. Always a pleasure speaking with you. I enjoyed this conversation. It means that we are moving in the right direction. We have seen the degradation of some of these values in our society, and I'm happy that we are taking action to see how we can reverse what can be a very, very slippery slope, which will cost us down the line. I think that's the encouraging part about the conversation. So I am very, very grateful. I am grateful. And as you rightfully said, it's the same thing that's my concern. You would do all that you can at home, but there's a reason why socialization is important. They have to go out and mingle. We cannot lock them inside of our homes, but when they do, if we don't prepare them properly, then we will see those traits popping up, the things that we prefer they don't have. So to you and your team, thank you again. We do appreciate, we will be speaking again, because I would love to get an update on how the program is going, and also to share some of the projects in the various schools, that the positive messages and the influence. Let's hear some of the testimonials and so from the children, where that program would have positively impacted their lives.
Thank you so much, Arceline, and thank you for this opportunity. Certainly, I hope that we get a chance to talk again in the future, and obviously that we can probably have some of the coordinated teachers on to speak about what has been happening in the respective schools as well. Thank you to all your viewers and those who are listening, and it has been a pleasure.
Thank you again to you.
We do wish you a pleasant day, sir. Same here. We are speaking there with Pastor Devon Rashe, speaking about that very important project in our schools to deal with the issue of morals, or rather the lack thereof. Some of the values that we see dwindling, it is decreasing among our youth. Simple things as saying good morning, respect. It is how we grow up. It is who we are. Our communities grew us up, but now we recognize that we are trying to leave it only to parents. It's not possible. We cannot be everywhere at the same time. The community grew our children. In Grenada, we are a big community. We are, almost everybody knows everybody. If you have not spoken to that person, you have seen them more than once at an event, at church, at school, somewhere, and we know that person. Something were to happen, but I know that person. Let us see ourselves that way. You see my children anywhere doing anything that you think they should not be doing, please feel free to tell me. I will appreciate that, because then I know that they may be coming down with something or showing traits that's not what I would like to have. gives me an opportunity to have a conversation. Let's start the process of remedying, of fixing the issues. Not sitting and living in a bubble that it would disappear. It would not just like that. When we did wrong, our parents straightened us out. And we're hearing now about abuse. Oh, we got licks. We were beaten. But there's a difference between abuse and discipline in a child. And those are the lines that we need to trod. These are the things that we need to know as parents. How do we prepare a child? What do we do? When they start becoming disrespectful, what do we do? Do we smile and say, no, you stop them, you correct them? Because when they become adults, it's the same thing that they will be doing. And mind you, when that time comes and they do have children, they will be teaching them the same thing because it is what they know. Let us stop living a fallacy. Let us help. To help, it must be the truth. We cannot help with a fable. Let us help our young people today. As parents, we have a very big role to play. But as a community, we have an even bigger one. Help somebody else's child today. You see them going down the wrong path, pull them aside. Speak to them. You may think they're not listening. That counsel they will need, and they're going to use it when they need it most. You might just be saving a child, making a difference in a child's life. I always say, let's do something to help someone today. And that's it from us. For today, it's now 8:37 in the morning. Always a pleasure being here with you. I am grateful for all of you joining me here at the Diaspora in Grenada on Magic FM. Always a pleasure. The team, Panchu, Elton, Tanya, always a blessing. MTV, the extended MTV team, always a pleasure to share. And once the message is positive, you're down for that. Always for that. Let's do what we can today to help someone. Remember, you knowing and not sharing, the world is not changing. You know and you share, we help someone along the way. That person is going to help somebody else. The domino effect. It's magnificent. But if you don't share, then they will not know. Have a good day, everyone. Be safe. Be back here with you on Thursday, God's will. The last day of the month, March, the first quarter of the year, almost out. Let us do what we can to ensure that we are safe. Remember, we are still in the pandemic, so don't drop all the guards. Do what we need to do to be safe. Have a good day, everyone. Be safe. Stay blessed. See you on Thursday, God's will. I'm Arcelyn Crosby.
Rise and shine.
So annoying. Apologies mean nothing if you don't change what